yeah, so this week, this lesson, we'll be looking again at healthy soils. So just bear with me one moment while I load everything. Now, before we begin, I'll show you how to get onto my onto the Stax English site for free. So as I say, yep, this lesson is provided free of charge. We ask for contributions only. If you want to make a donation, then you can make a donation either using the QR code if you're in Vietnam, or you can make a donation through PayPal if you're outside of Vietnam. So that's completely up to you. Now, before we jump into things, so that you guys can follow along, you can actually, I'm actually giving people free access to the Stax English course. Now, the way to get free access would be, let me just find it. Yep. So just bear with me one moment. Let me just sort this out. So I can give you free access. What we're looking to do is access the master course. Okay, I'll show you how to do this. So basically, you can go onto Google, and you can type in Stax English IELTS master course. Okay, now obviously it's got a price there, but what you type in is in full capitals down here, English for all. And I believe that's the coupon that's working at the moment. Yep. And when you do that, the price goes to 100% off and it becomes free. So if you want to sign up to the course, you just need to type in English for all on the coupon code, and you can access the course for free. So if you want to do that, I'll send you the link. So the link is there. Click that. And all you need to do is type in the coupon code, full capitals, no spaces, English for all. Now, when you've done that, so you can do that now, or you can do that after the lesson. Once that's done, you will be able to follow along with these lessons and actually do the lesson at home as well. So when there's, so if there's anything you want to practice a little bit further after the lesson, if there's any sort of games you want to do, or you want to revise the vocabulary or do some paraphrasing or some writing tasks related to this lesson, then you can do that at home free of charge. And this will work on a laptop or on a phone or on a tablet or whatever your device is. So carrying on from our previous lesson, we're going to look at healthy soils. Okay, so we're going to play the video first of all. So if we can just make sure our microphones are off for this little bit so we can hear it a bit better. So let's begin.
Healthy soils, the foundation of healthy food and a better environment. Despite all our technological developments, humanity still relies on a few centimeters of soil to survive. 95% of our food is produced by farmers in our soils. It all starts in soils, where food begins. Healthy soils provide plants with nutrients. 18 elements are essential for plant growth. 3 are obtained from the atmosphere by photosynthesis, and the rest comes from the soils. Soil fertility is the ability to provide essential nutrients and favourable chemical, physical and biological characteristics for soil organisms and plant growth. When soils are degraded and nutrients are not replenished after a harvest, they lose their capacity to nurture life. Over the last 70 years, the level of vitamins and nutrients in food has drastically decreased. The loss of soil fertility leads to low crop yield and crop failure. It also leads to hunger, malnutrition and poverty. When nutrients are in excess, they spread into the environment, polluting water and contributing to greenhouse gas emissions. Polluted soil puts our food chain and the health of our planet at risk. What can we do? Adopt long-term sustainable soil management practices to enable farmers to restore soil health. Agricultural policies should prioritise nutritional value and safety of food over crop yields. The fertiliser code should be a guiding tool to avoid the underuse, misuse and overuse of fertilisers. The quality of fertilisers should be of public access and monitored by reference laboratories. To avoid deficiencies, it is essential to include micronutrients in soil's fertilisation plans. The use of pulses, crop diversification and rotation should be promoted. Fertilisation should be combined with innovations such as biofertilisation, nutrient recycling, biofortification and biostimulants. When we support farmers in bringing back life to soils, we're ensuring the future of our food and the planet. Healthy soils for healthy planet, food and people.
Okay, guys, so we're going to go over some of the vocabulary there. Now, if you were in last week's lesson, you will probably know the vocabulary already. But for those of you who are new, we do have a vocabulary bank, but we're also going to play a quick game. So I'll show you the vocabulary bank quickly. Now, here's the vocabulary bank. Now, if you have signed up to the Udemy course using the coupon that I gave you before, then you will be able to click the link that I've just sent to you in the chat box, and you'll be able to access the vocabulary bank and have that open. Now, don't worry too much if you haven't, because we're going to go through these games anyway and learn the vocabulary. So first thing we're going to do is just a vocabulary guessing game. Now, this is one of the games on the Stax English Master Course. With this game, for those of you who were here in the last lesson, all you know what to do. You just have to figure out whether it's this word, or this word by looking at the clues. And we can actually get more clues by clicking these buttons here or these buttons here. So let's try this one. So we've got the word replenish, sustainable, and nutrient. Now we know it's an adjective, and the definition is of or related to a method of managing or using a resource so that the resource is not depleted or permanently damaged. So does anyone have any idea what the word could be? Which one of these words is likely to be the right one? Hui, do you have an answer?
How about sustainable?
You are absolutely right. Sustainable. So when something is sustainable, it means that we can do it again and again and again because it doesn't use up the resource before it can be replaced. So an example here is sustainable farming generally involves crop rotation, which is moving one crop to a different field each year, moving them around rather than doing the same crop in the same field. The next word is an adjective, meaning showing the promise of something good. So this means something could work out well for you.
Is favourable.
You are absolutely right. Well done, Lam. Favourable is right. So we have promising or a favourable weather report. Very good. Next, we have a noun, and a similar word is food. So it's related to food. Any ideas?
Nutrient.
Well done, Fuang. Yep. A nutrient. So a nourishing substance found in food, such as a vitamin or a mineral. Very good. Let's try the next one. Next, we have a noun, and the related word is change. So when we talk about something changing or a change, go on.
Innovation.
An innovation. Yeah. So an innovation is a new way of doing things, a new method, a new idea, a new approach. It's very similar to the word invention. So it's quite similar to that.
Wow.
Yeah, well done, guys. Next, we have a transitive verb. So they've launched a campaign to awareness of the dangers of alcohol. So what could this word be? It means to make people aware of something. Shall we have another clue?
Promote.
Well done, Fuang. Very good. So when we promote something, we encourage it, we make people aware of it, and we make sure people know about it. Very good. Okay, good stuff, guys. We're doing really well. If you're joining us on the live stream, you can write your answers down in the chat box too. So the next word is a transitive verb, and a related word is demolish. So it's not a synonym, but it's kind of related. Demolish means to destroy a building entirely. Let's have a clue, shall we? To bring someone or something down from a higher to a lower rank, to a higher or lower.
Degrade.
Degrade is right. Very good. So when we talk about degrading something, we're talking about bringing it down. It's almost like the opposite of upgrade, where you go up to something better. To degrade something is to bring it down to a place that is worse or lower. So when we talk about soils being degraded, we're talking about how each year, if we use the same soil again and again and again, the nutrients in the soil begin to get used up, and that degrades the soil, meaning that the following year, it doesn't have the same power. It's not able to produce as much fruit or vegetables. Next, we have a transitive verb. A related word is alloy, but that's not massively helpful. Let's have a clue. A synonym is foul. The things we describe as foul are usually things that are smelly or bad.
Pollute.
Pollute is the word. Well done. We can see an image of two towers polluting the air there, can't we? Very good. The example here is the company polluted the river by dumping its waste there for years. So it means to make something dirty, unpleasant, or unhealthy by infusing it with waste material. Good job, guys. Next, we have a noun, and a similar word is destitution. So when we talk about destitution, we're talking about not being able to provide for yourself or your family, maybe struggling for money or food or clothing or shelter.
Poverty.
Poverty is right. Well done, Fuang. Poverty is the condition of being poor or lacking the necessary means of support. So an example here is, despite their work in the linen mill, the family lived in poverty. So next one, the water sample contains numerous kinds of tiny something. So these are tiny animals.
Organism.
Very good, Hui. Organism. So an organism is any living being. Any living being. So that could be an animal, a human, a plant, a mushroom, moss, yeast, or even bacteria, germs. Not viruses, though. We don't include viruses. They're not living. Germs, bacteria are. Next, we have a transitive verb, and a similar word is replace. Any ideas, Lam?
Replenish.
Replenish. Well done. So when we put something back the way it was, we fill something up again. So my cup is empty. There's no coffee in there. Someone could replenish it by filling it up with coffee. Very good, very good. Okay, we're almost done with this game now. So grab a few more clue things. Now we have just an image, and this is an adjective. And what can we see in the image? You can see lots of life, plants, frogs, fish.
Biological, maybe.
Yes. So we're talking about biology here, aren't we? Of or pertaining to biology. So things that are related to life. Very good. So many studies have explored the differences between males and females, the biological differences. Very good, guys. All right, we're doing really well. Next up, we have a noun. It was his something that brought about his efforts to end the suffering of others. So this is a noun describing compassion.
Humanity.
Yes, humanity indeed. So we've got compassion, sympathy, humane concern, goodness, kindness. When we talk about humanity as a noun, it could mean we're talking about all humans collectively, or care for humans, compassion for humans collectively. Okay. Next we have a term. This is a noun again. The gas tank has a something of 13 gallons. Gallons being about
Yes.
5 liters. Sorry? Did you say capacity? Yes.
Capacity.
Yes, the capacity is how much something can hold, or what something has the ability to do. The total amount measured that can be contained. And we can see this puffer fish is full to its maximum capacity. All right, very good. Transitive verb now, to care for and encourage the growth and development of a living thing. This is a verb.
Excess.
It's not excess. Excess is actually an adjective. So this is a verb. This is when we care for something, like a plant or a pet or a child.
Nurture.
Nurture. Well done, Fuang. Yeah. So to nurture something is to basically just to encourage it to grow, to develop, to get better. Okay. We nurture children, we nurture plants. Next, we have an adjective meaning more than required, more than expected or considered reasonable, extra or additional. Any guesses?
Excess, right?
Yes, that's right. Well done, Kui. Excess meaning more than we need. Extra, spare. And here we have an example. Excess energy. So if you eat too much sugar, you might have excess energy. Fantastic job, guys. You did really well there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to try some speaking activities now, okay? So if you were in the previous lesson, this should be a bit easier. If you struggle with any of the questions, don't worry. Feel free to ask, and I can help to break them down for you and explain what they mean, okay? So just wait for that to load quickly. I think it's because we're live streaming, it might be taking a little bit longer than usual. Some of the questions that we're going to talk about will be environmental questions. Now, if you're studying for IELTS or if you're studying English generally, these kind of questions often pop up in speaking examinations. They also pop up on writing examinations. questions about the environment and about sustainability and social issues and things like this. So it's always useful to have practiced talking about the environment, and it's also very good to have a good base knowledge of the vocabulary related to the environment. So we can learn that through this section, and also some of the other sections like wind turbines, the benefits of trees, and various other ones. Okay, so let's have a look at some of these suggested questions just now. Okay, now don't worry if these are too difficult for you. We will be able to explain them for you. Okay, so let's start with this first question. What are the main problems with traditional farming? So, Phuong, you were here in the last lesson. Do you want to give us your opinion on the main problems with traditional farming?
Give my opinion about it.
Yeah. What are some of the main problems of traditional farming?
I think traditional farming is maybe the cause, of course, mainly the pollution, the soil, and of course, is not productivity because they use like traditional methods to plant kind of that. So about the productivity is doesn't really it doesn't really I mean and another thing that they use a lot of maybe chemistry, so they pollute the soil, the water and water resource, and so affect a lot about effects on our health, the human health.
Yeah, absolutely. So what Phuong has talked about there is the fact that fertilizers, whilst they can be very beneficial for growing food, what we frequently do with traditional farming is we put too much fertilizer in the soil. And these chemicals that are added to the soil to help plants to grow are often washed away by the rain. So some of them are washed away when the rain comes down. And then where does the rain take these chemicals? Well, it normally takes them to a nearby river or lake, stream, and they get washed up somewhere. And what happens is the plant life that's living in the lake or the river, such as algae, begins to grow very, very fast and very, very numerously. It grows all over, spreads all over the place. And then what that does is it pollutes the water. What that does is it prevents sunlight from getting into the bottom of the lake. And what that can do is that can kill animals, it can kill other plants, it can completely change the chemical balance of the lake, and it can basically just kill off entire ecosystems. And that's a major problem with traditional farming. Hui, could you tell me what do you think could be some problems with traditional farming?
They use too much chemical.
Too many chemicals.
Yeah. So it was so harmful for our health. When we eat the vegetables, the chemical affects our health.
So what you're talking about are pesticides. Do you know what a pesticide is?
I don't know.
So pest is an animal that is a nuisance. It's one that can disrupt human beings' way of life. So a pest is basically an animal on a farm that will eat the fruit or eat the vegetables. So we're talking about slugs and snails and locusts and various different animals that might eat the food. So a pesticide, if you have "icide" at the end of something, it means to kill. So pesticide is a chemical that kills pests. So it will kill these little animals off and that means that the fruit and vegetables don't get eaten by these pests. But as Hui has pointed out, there are downsides to having pesticides on our food, because if we then eat the food and there are pesticides on there, there's a lot of study into how damaging that can be for our health. So it could be that pesticides could be detrimental to our health.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good, Hui. Thank you. Lam, what about yourself? What do you think are some of the main problems with traditional farming? Lam?
Yes,
Yeah. What are some of the main problems with traditional farming that we have?
I think it is inefficient. Like
Inefficient, yeah.
if traditional farming mostly is planting only one type of crops on a field,
Yeah,
or
planting only one type of crop in a field, yeah.
or like the the ways of you um you water on the fields or using fertilizers is not efficient too.
Okay,
Is
so yeah, so continue. So are you saying using fertilizers is not efficient, or we don't use fertilizers efficiently? Like our use of fertilizers isn't done in the most effective way?
uh, I think I saying that the use of fertilizers is not efficient.
How do you mean it's not efficient? Like, could you
Like
explain that a little more?
like people will use fertilizers on field, but not knowing which type of fertilizers will um, help the crops grows best.
Right. Okay. So people will use fertilizers without really being sure what they do or which ones work most effectively. Yeah. So our use of fertilizers is inefficient. Okay. That is a problem. You also mentioned that people tend to plant one type of crop. Now that is called a monoculture. Okay. So a monoculture, mono means one. Okay. So when we talk about a monoculture, and I'm going to quickly show you a picture of a monoculture. You'll see exactly what I mean. You can see that with a monoculture, there's just one type of thing growing. So you see this? Everything is the same. So there can be big problems with growing the same crop for miles and miles and miles. Now, there's problems to the environment, and there are also risks to the actual farms themselves when we have nothing but a monoculture. So what do we think could be maybe a problem with a monoculture? Can I ask Fwong, first of all, why would a monoculture be problematic? Why could that cause problems? Any idea?
I think monoculture is have some problem because it can cause soil depletion. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, like yeah, because the growing the same growth year after year can deplete some nutrients in the soil, and
absolutely.
yeah, and maybe they also required more fertilizer, so it's harmed to
It can be harmful.
yeah, it can be
Yeah.
harmful.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And
Fwong. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So having a monoculture can be a problem because the monoculture, let's say that you plant a certain type of plant, and that plant, that fruit, vegetable, whatever it is, absorbs lots of nitrogen from the soil. Then first year, it may grow this big, second year this big, third year this big, fourth year, it might not even work. You might have crop failure entirely. So what you need to do in that situation is in the second year, you need to plant what's something called a nitrogen setter. So this is a type of plant that absorbs nitrogen from the air and pushes it down into the soil. And that means that when you move plants from field to field, you can actually replenish the nitrogen or whatever else it is in the soil in a natural way. Now, people have been doing this for a very, very long time. People have known about this for thousands of years. They have moved each year, they move the crop to a different field. So you'll have 3 different fields. One year you grow this here, the next year you grow it here, the third year you grow it here, and then the fourth year it's back to where it was. And that helps to restore and replenish the soils. And in order to do that, you cannot have a monoculture.
To be honest, that I don't understand quite when you plant different things on the same soils. It can help for soil to enrich the soil. I don't know why.
I'll explain why. So basically,
yeah.
let's imagine that you have, now this is all theoretical. I don't know. I can't give you specifics, but let's say you have 3 different crops. Now this one absorbs nitrogen and puts potassium in the soil. This one absorbs potassium and puts nitrogen in the soil. And this one does, I don't know, something else, phosphorus. Yeah. Then what happens is when you swap these 2 around, this one puts nitrogen in the soil and absorbs potassium. This one puts potassium in the soil and absorbs nitrogen. If you swap those 2 around, then each year you're filling the soil back up with potassium or nitrogen. Now, if you remember from the last lesson, plants need 18 different nutrients to stay alive, right? And 3 of those come from water, sunlight, and the air, right? Three of those. 15 of them do not. 15 of them come from soil. So if we absorb all of it out of the soil, then that's gone. But there are different plants that return those chemicals to the soil. So for example, nitrogen is floating around in the air right now. You're breathing it in, you're breathing it back out. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of it in the soil too. And the plant, you might have a plant that soaks up that nitrogen and uses it to grow, but then the next year, all the nitrogen is gone. On the other hand, there are other plants that breathe in the nitrogen and push it down into the soil. So if you swap those two plants around each year, then one of them absorbs the nitrogen, the other one puts it back. Okay? So it's kind of like you have to carefully balance it. If you're only growing tomatoes or only growing corn or only growing potatoes, eventually you're going to run into problems because the soil will become depleted. Now you can replenish it with fertilizer. Of course, you could throw a load of fertilizer down. That will replenish the soil, but it will also lead to algal blooms, which is where the fertilizer, runs off into a stream, a lake, a river, and causes plant life to grow, which you don't want to grow. Okay. Now, that's one problem of having a monoculture. There's another problem as well related to disease. So, Hui or Lam, any idea what other problems we could have when we have a monoculture?
The soil will degrade.
Yes, but there's one other problem as well. Go on, Hui.
I don't have any idea.
Not sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me explain something to you quickly. So I'm going to write in the potato blight of Europe. Okay. So the potato blight was a disease caused by a fungus, and it made potatoes look like this. Now you can't eat that potato, right? Now this fungus spread all over Europe very, very quickly because potatoes, which originally came from South America, were brought over to Europe, and we loved potatoes because you could grow them very easily. They provided nutrition and lots of calories. So we could make lots of food in a very small space. So people started growing potatoes everywhere, all over Europe. Every single farm was most productive if they grew potatoes. So instead of growing other things as well, they only grew potatoes. And that was wonderful for a while. But then a disease hit the potatoes. It's a fungus, right? And it made the potatoes inedible. You can't eat them anymore. And because next to one infected potato was another potato, and that potato got infected. Next to that potato was another potato, and that got infected. And so before you know it, the whole farm was infected. And then your neighbor's farm was infected. And then their neighbor's farm was infected. And then the whole country was infected. Yes, it spread quickly
because of the same plant.
Exactly, because it's the same plant. Now, if they'd have had a field of potatoes, a field of corn, a field of squash, a field of something else, it wouldn't have spread as easily. It might be that the potatoes were wiped out, but something else survived. Because the thing that kills the potato doesn't necessarily kill the pumpkins. It doesn't kill the corn. It doesn't kill the tomatoes. It doesn't kill the other things. So when we have a monoculture, one major risk we run is that if the crop fails because of disease, it will spread all over the farm and everything is gone. Everything is ruined. And this, yes, go on, Hui.
I think it's very bad. So
it is.
We shouldn't do it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of that, we should like plant some beans to make the soil more
more nutritious. Yeah,
more nutritious.
And to prevent the spread of diseases. Yeah. So you've just answered this question, Hui. How can we avoid creating monocultures when farming? How can we avoid it? So you've said plant some other stuff, plant different things. plant different things. And in fact, sometimes when you plant different things next to each other, they actually help each other to grow because they trade nutrients. So if one plant needs a certain nutrient and the other one absorbs that nutrient, it can actually give the other plant that nutrient through the soil. So we can actually get a boost to our plants from avoiding monocultures. Okay, it's also good for biodiversity as well. So we want to keep, obviously, a rainforest, for example, is very biodiverse. A farm is not. So we want to ideally boost biodiversity by encouraging different plants to grow alongside each other. Okay. What can we do to prevent fertilizer runoff? So I'm going to start with lamb this time. So fertilizer runoff is when the fertilizer runs off into streams and into rivers. Okay, so we can see here that the rain washes fertilizer from the farm, and it ends up in the lake or the river, and you can see what happens to the river. It becomes overcome with algae, and that actually really damages the river. So, Lam, what could we do maybe to prevent fertilizer from running off into the river? Do you have any idea?
First is mostly when fertilizer run off, it is because of you have excess fertilizers.
Yes.
So you must use the correct amount of fertilizers from the fields.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
And you should plant some eco-friendly or not impact or non-impact on the environment trees.
Yeah.
In the bank of the river, or
well done. Yes, you're absolutely right. So
what that will have roots that
absorb the fertilizer.
That have deep roots to absorb the excess fertilizers.
Absolutely. Very good. Very good. So you know your stuff here. So one way to avoid fertilizer runoff is to actually surround your farm with plants or trees that will absorb the fertilizer. So if you create a little mound, a little sort of like mini hill around your farm, then when the water washes the extra fertilizer, it gets absorbed into the mound. And then on that mound, you can have things growing that will absorb the fertilizer. So you can have, I think we can find an example somewhere. Yeah, you can have sort of something growing around the edges of the farm, which helps to soak up some of the fertilizer. So you can see here, look what they've done here. They've dug a little irrigation drain and they put up just a little mound there. And you can put some trees or some plants there to around the perimeter that will absorb the fertilizer. Very good. We can see a little article about
maybe
it here.
we should combine the organic fertilizer with the...
Say that again. So use organic fertilizer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is another option. Yeah. So organic fertilizer. Can you tell me what is an organic fertilizer?
Like I didn't like some I mean we can use some trees or some leaf. I mean the foods.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So things
The
like
the like yeah, leftover foods to some can be the fertilizer, organic fertilizer, and um the or the leaf or the tree can be used um used as a fertilizer when they have the method to um, retrain them to be the fertilizer. I'm not a agriculture energy, but I, in the fact that there are many farmers use like a traditional method to and use the organic fertilizer like this, and it's decrease the harmfulness of the chemical
you're
to
absolutely right. Yeah. So
yeah
if we were to just use organic waste like food, leftover, food, banana peels, eggshells, coffee grounds,
yeah
yard trimmings, those kinds of things, then that is the original type of fertilizer that people have used for centuries. And it releases the chemicals slowly because it slowly decays. As long as it's got oxygen around it, it will decay into useful chemicals that can be used. So yeah, you could use essentially you could use food waste, organic fertilizers, things like that, and that would work quite well. And that would stop. Yeah, that would definitely prevent fertilizer runoff. The only downside is that it's not massively effective on a large scale, but it is something I would highly recommend if you guys grow plants at home, is keep all your food waste, put it in a compost bin. You can get a balcony composter. They're fantastic. I have one myself. I have two of them actually. So even if you live in a flat, even if you don't have a garden, if you live in an apartment, and you have a balcony composter, just like a little box like this, you can put your food waste in there, and then you can get free compost to grow plants with on your in your apartment. And they're fantastic. I'd highly recommend them. They don't smell, they don't attract any rodents or problem. You don't get they don't attract bugs or anything like that. They're completely sealed, and you just get free compost out of it. And it also encourages you to not throw away as much food, to actually eat the food and not throw it away. It can be done. Composting in a small space is a great idea, and it helps you to grow beautiful, beautiful plants, and you can even grow your own food with it, which is fantastic. So yeah, so using up excess food waste and things like that is a great idea. Another example, another way to prevent fertilizer runoff is this, which is slow release fertilizer, which doesn't just wash away very quickly. It's released slowly, very gradually. Yeah. Hui, do you have any suggestions for how to prevent fertilizer runoff?
I think we should take enough fertilizer for our plants.
Say that again, sorry.
I think we should take enough for how to say that?
For the plants, and enough fertilizer for the plants?
Yeah, fertilize for the plants.
Fertilizer, yeah.
I don't know more.
Yeah.
I don't do the gardening.
Yeah, that's okay. I understand, but yeah, it's using less fertilizer. The main thing is using less fertilizer, as Lam said, can be massive help. This is another idea, using plants to prevent runoff. So if you plant wildflowers around the edge of your garden, your farm, or whatever else, the water runs to those, and the plants will absorb the excess fertilizer, which means you'll get lovely plants as well. Plant an oak tree or a maple tree to soak up the fertilizer. So these roots, and Lam suggested this as well. You can absorb the fertilizer with a big tree. You can cultivate shrubs or tall grasses around the perimeter of the garden or around the perimeter of the farm. And these will absorb extra water and fertilizer. You could plant cattails if you live alongside a root, lake, or a stream. And these are plants that love water. And they absorb lots of the water. They'll suck up all the remaining fertilizer and stop the fertilizer from going any further. They will also prevent shoreline erosion. So these are some great pieces of advice for preventing fertilizer runoff. Okay. So let's talk about some of these. So we've got now I'm going to start with this question. What is aquaponics? Has anyone ever heard of aquaponics? Now we've got the word aqua in there, so something to do with water.
I don't know about this.
Okay, let me show you a picture. Now I have an aquaponics system in my house and I absolutely love it. This is aquaponics, okay? So aquaponics is basically where you use fish to grow plants. Now, the ingenious thing about it is that fish, they excrete, they poop out nutrients, which are very good for the plants. Those nutrients are then absorbed by the roots of the plants. The plants grow above the tank, of course, and the roots reach down. They absorb the nutrients from the fish poop and clean the tank whilst also growing in like this. And then the water can go back in. Now, it doesn't have to look like that set up there. It can be a bit simpler. It can simply be a fish tank with this stacked up and a pump just pumping the water through it. And the beautiful thing about it is I have one set up in my house. I have never needed to clean that fish tank. The fish tank stays clean. The fish are healthy. And I have never cleaned the tank. It's wonderful. And I grow free food out of the top of it. You can set it up really easily. So that's what aquaponics is. Look, that's the kind of setup I have. I have a fish.
So you don't need to change the water.
Nope. You don't need to change the water. Well, if you get the balance right, you don't need to.
Yeah.
So I've never needed to change the water, and the fish are perfectly happy. They've been happy. They've been in there for 2 years, and they're perfectly fine. They're alive. The fish tank is clean, and I grow scallions. I grow garlic, and I grow lemongrass, all from the top of a fish tank. So whenever I want scallions for food, I just snip a bit off with the scissors, throw them in there. If I want green garlic, snip a bit off, throw it in. Lemongrass helps to keep mosquitoes away. You can also use it for tea, or you can use it for cooking. It's wonderful. And it's just something like this. It's not big. It's just a simple thing like that. So.
But it's just prefer to some kind of vegetable.
Yeah. You can use it to grow vegetables, or you could use it to just grow ornamental plants as well, if you prefer. Yeah. So Huang, what do you think could be an advantage of aquaponics? Why do you think aquaponics might be a good idea when farming? What are the advantages of it?
I think it can be I mean make the water clean, like you said.
Yeah, it can clean the water. Yep.
Yeah, clean water, and maybe when the when the fish maybe the you can use the I don't know seed from fish so can nurture the plant
Yes.
yeah
Yeah, you can nurture plants.
I don't know how to say in English, but and another
Yeah.
benefit is maybe the can save the water because the save the water because you don't need to change the water.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
exactly
so
right. Yeah. And it just
yeah,
looks nice. That's another thing. It just looks pretty. Like, look at that. It's gorgeous.
yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Lam? What would you say are the advantages of aquaponics systems?
How about what? Can excuse me? Can you repeat your
Sorry, I
question?
was just asking Lam because he hasn't spoken in a while.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. What do you think might be an advantage of having an aquaponics system for growing food?
It would be efficient.
It's an efficient way, yeah, of growing food. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, very efficient.
It would be efficient, and it's not as and it does not make soil degrade because it is using
Doesn't
water.
use salt. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we can control the amount of fertilizers directly, and we even can we can macro the amounts very precisely and
Yes,
accurate.
that's right. Yeah, we can I mean we can measure the amount we're using. I mean it's a bit more, it's easier with hydroponics where you put the fertilizer directly in. But with aquaponics, it's a little more difficult because you're talking about using fish. But you can, of course, increase the number of fish or decrease the number of fish depending on how much you want to use. So, guys, I'm going to have to wrap this up. But if you're signed up to the course, you can, there's some follow-up you can do. You can do these writing practice tests. How can planting trees help to keep soils healthy? So you can do that if you like. Remember as well that you can sign up, if you haven't already, you can follow up this lesson by going to Stax English IELTS Master Course, type it in on Google, and you've got the coupon code, which is English for all. Full capitals, no spaces. So if you want to sign up, that will be free of charge for you. That's not free of charge for 30 days. It's free forever, okay? So once you're signed up, that's sorted, that's free, okay? So feel free to sign up to that for joining today. Just before we finish, I'll just remind everybody of why we're doing this. So the reason I'm doing these lessons free of charge is to help people who may not be able to afford English lessons. So anybody who's watching this on the live stream or anybody who's joined the Zoom link, this lesson is free of charge. If you would like to make a donation and you're in Vietnam, you can use the QR code here or the information down at the bottom. And any donation you can make would be greatly appreciated. Just whatever you can afford is fine. All of the money is used to help pay for food and rent, medical bills, education, and various other things for needy families in Hanoi. So if you do make a donation, you can guarantee that all of it will be used to help people in need. If you are unable to make a donation, please share this with your friends and tell them to join up. If they're at a similar level of English to you guys, please ask your friends to join up as well. And that would be wonderful because the more people we can reach, the better. I really enjoy doing these classes. and I enjoy helping people out, helping people to learn English. I also really enjoy helping needy families who need support. So we're available. We will do these classes Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's UTC +7 or Vietnam time. If you're outside of Hanoi and you're watching on the live stream and you'd like to donate, you can donate using PayPal at ax.english.tutoring@gmail.com, and I will take out the equivalent amount of money here in Vietnam and use it to help the poor and the homeless in Hanoi. So thank you for your support and participation today, guys. Please share this information with your friends. Is there anything I can help you with before we finish?
I got it. Thank you for the lesson.
No problem at all, Hui. Okay, Lam, Huang, Hui, and everyone else who's watching on the live stream, well done today. And I'll see you again on Monday of next week at 6 p.m. UTC +7. Same details again. And please sign up to the Udemy course so that we can go through the lesson together, okay? All right.
Thank you.
Thanks,
you.
guys. You take care.
Have a
Bye-bye for
nice
now.
night. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.